All right, it's the Yahiko episode. Every once in a while we need to pull back from the serious stuff and just have a nice, wholesome episode within the RUROUNI Kenshin series. And if you're new to Kenshin, this is not filler, by the way. I know that if this was your first time viewing it, you might assume it's filler since there's no big plot lines going on. But no, this is actually in the manga. It's chapters, I think, 31, 32, and 33. It's actually 3 chapters in the manga. And it's one of our first exposures to seeing Yahiko kind of evolve and develop a little bit more. It's pretty wholesome. There also are like some genuine stakes at play here. I think it shows a lot of great dynamics between all the characters. And look, I knew this episode was coming. This episode was in the 90s version. It's in the manga. I knew we were going to get it. And you know what? I enjoy it, man. It sucks when you have to wait an entire week for an episode and then another entire week before we get anything else. So I knew it would be one of those episodes that's kind of short, sweet, to the point, follows Yahiko, makes him the protagonist for an episode, and that's basically what it was. I don't have a ton of things to say about it, but I will talk about a few things that stuck out to me. Obviously, the first thing is that the opening titles and ending title sequences and songs have changed, kind of moving into the second half of Season 1. I will say that the opening song, I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. I didn't really like the animation they did with it. I thought it was a little bit too slow. I really liked the energy of the first opening song for the first half, and I was getting really, really used to it. I was actually really enjoying it, and now it's kind of changed, and I don't really enjoy this new opening song as much. But on the flip side of that, the new ending song is fucking fire. This is great, and this actually reminds me of like a classic RUROUNI Kenshin ending theme. Like it seems like the kind of song that would be in the 90s ending theme for Kenshin. So I actually really, really enjoyed the ending theme. I really like the art style in the ending theme, and obviously, they show my boy, motherfucking Hajime Saito in the end credits, and I couldn't be happier about that. They show him a couple times, actually, so they're really hyping up his reveal, but it probably won't be for another, like, 5 or 6 episodes before he shows up, so, don't get too excited, but definitely get excited. The episode also introduces us to a new character, Tsubame, who is a supporting character in the series. She's not a main character, but she's important and she sticks around for quite some time. So if you liked Tsubame's cute little antics, she does stick around. She's not a one-off character or anything. And it sets up her dynamic with Yahiko and how she constantly calls him Little Yahiko, which he doesn't like. And this episode really explores kind of that. It explores Yahiko as a person, because if you remember, his father was a samurai that died at some point. He's been estranged from them. He's been orphaned from them. He had to work for the Yakuza for a while, doing a bunch of things he didn't want to do. And then finally, he's a little pickpocket and everything. And then finally, Kaoru and Kenshin take him in, and he starts learning genuine, true swordsmanship from Kaoru. But it's a very specific kind of swordsmanship that only uses wooden swords, practices not to kill, and practices the importance of being able to protect the people around you. So Yahiko is this child, I believe canonically he's supposed to be like 10 years old at this point, maybe a little bit older, but like young, very like shonen protagonist. Like in any other shonen, he would be the protagonist, because shonen usually revolves around like younger people or teenagers or what have you. So like in any other series, he'd be the protagonist. So this is kind of like his chance to be that, right? And he has to kind of prove himself, not just from like having to do, working for the Yakuza and stuff like that before. Now he's actually trying to be like genuinely a good person. He's trying to build up his swordsmanship skills, and he has this amazing, adult inspiration with Kenshin in front of him at all times. Not only being able to see the strength and skill of Kenshin, but also having him sort of like as a father figure, or as somebody to look up to, and thinking about what Kenshin would do in those kind of situations. Also, he's extremely limited by his size and age. There's only so much, a young kid can do. There's only so much strength a young kid could have. So obviously when he's surrounded by a bunch of adults, they're naturally going to be stronger than him, especially when they gang up on him and start like kicking the shit out of him and everything. So between being called Little Yahiko by Tsubame, and this episode didn't really like dive too much into Yahiko and Tsubame like having a crush on each other. I mean, they definitely do, but I feel like it wasn't super emphasized. But then again, in the manga, it might not be at first either. So there's that. So there's a lot of insecurity with it, right? He's definitely never going to be as strong as Kenshin is right now because he's a child. He's still fairly new to learning swordsmanship. And, the girl is calling him Little Yahiko. as a short man myself, I can relate to that. And he's put in a situation where he really has to step up and be able to defend her, be able to do something about this. And he chooses to do it by himself. He doesn't ask for help from Kenshin. He does kind of like ask for things like around the issue. And I really like how they did that too, because it definitely feels like a little kid, like, who's being very obvious with his questions. Like, how do you fight a bunch of people in a group? And, all of these kind of things where it's like, he doesn't want to outright tell them, but they can all obviously tell what's going on. And I also really like the dynamic of Kenshin, Kaoru, and Sanosuke kind of following him and kind of watching everything unfold. So it's like Yahiko's never in any real actual danger because Kenshin and Sanosuke are right there. Like, they're not going to let anything serious happen to him, right? But it is important for him to be able to stand up for himself and fight his own battles. And that's why Kenshin's like, he doesn't know that we're here. Let's not step in. This is Yahiko's fight. Like, if Yahiko was if his life was in danger, if he was in a serious situation, Kenshin would obviously join in, right? But because he knows Yahiko and he knows that Yahiko wants to become that great swordsman himself, he knows that Yahiko would want to fix this situation himself, Kenshin allows Yahiko the opportunity. So even not being an actual father to anybody, Kenshin is very much that kind of like masculine father figure that has to understand that he has to let his child go through pain in order for the child to become stronger. But at the same time, he's always going to be right there behind him. So really, Yahiko's not in any actual, deadly type of danger because Kenshin will have his back and will protect him. But he's going to allow Yahiko to go as far as he can go without him. And it's, I don't know, it's some good parenting, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a parent, but I just imagine if my kid was having a sword fight, that's what I would do. So yeah, overall, I mean, it's just a good, genuine, wholesome episode. Introduces a new character, showcases some Yahiko character development, has a lot of really funny moments. And, there's not really much to say. I don't know. It's the Yahiko episode. So I think they did a good job adapting it, and we'll see where it goes into the future. Now, the next segment of the anime, I won't spoil anything, but we have another segment that's going to introduce another antagonist, but don't expect it to be kind of like on the same level as some of the others, but it is still genuinely good. And obviously we are leading towards the introduction of Saito, which will probably happen towards the end of the season. So looking forward to that. Like I said, End Song was awesome. Great to see him in there. But yeah, other than that, guys, let me know what you thought of this. I'll keep this review short and sweet. Simple episode, wholesome episode, Yahiko stuff. I don't know. I enjoy it for what it is. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought. Leave your comments, thoughts, ideas down below. And also, if you are new to Kenshin, if you're anime only, let me know what you thought about kind of like a little break from the serious stuff and just kind of doing like a small episode like this. Let me know what you guys think. Other than that, guys, as always, please like the video and comment to help it out in the algorithm. Subscribe if you want to stick around and see more. And if you want to support the channel at a deeper level, I would appreciate it if you considered it. I have a Patreon and channel memberships that go for as low as $1, just $1 a month. And there's all the social media links where you can follow me in the description. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you next time.